So question 10 has to do with 8th grade curriculum, and it asks us to look at the picture given and asks us what the slope of the diagonal is. So we're going to have to draw that. So if I look right, if I'm going from A to C, so to get there, this is what the line should look like. And it looks like I'm going up one, right one, up one, right one, and I continue that. So my rise is 1 unit, and my run is 1 unit, so my slope turns out to be 1 to 1, which is a slope of 1. Remember, if it's an open response question, you need a sentence stating the diagonal of AC is or has a slope of 1. I'll import the sentences at the end, so the last slide you'll see in this section will be A, B, C, D, and E's sentences as final answers. Part B, just change my color. What's the slope of the diagonal BD? So if I look here, here's B, here's D, and I'm looking for the slope of the diagonal. So I'm going to draw that diagonal. And as I travel, I realize that I'm going up 1, but I'm going left 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, and I continue that pattern. So my rise would still be 1, but my run is left 1, which is a -1 unit. So my slope is 1 to -1, which simplifies to -1. So there is a difference between A and B. The next part asks for an equation. So if I look at my equation of the diagonal AC, so AC is my blue line. So this is my AC, my blue line, and I have to figure out what the equation is. Well, remembering correctly, the equation of a line is written in y equals mx plus b. That's called slope-intercept form. Those are the two pieces of information I need, the slope and the y-intercept of that line. So since part A already gives me the slope, I can plug that in. So y equals, the slope was 1, x plus, and I have to figure out where this line intersects the y-axis. So if I look here, I can see the y-axis is here, the x-axis is here, so the origin is right where A is located. And the origin has a ordered pair of 0, 0, giving me a B term as 0. In my final sentence, I'm going to have to simplify this equation to y equals x. And you'll see the sentence on the next slide. Part D. Part D asks for the equation of the diagonal of BD, and remember that was our red line. So now I'm going to look at this red line for my equation. The equation again is written in the form y equals mx plus b is the equation of a line called slope-intercept form. I need to know the slope of diagonal BD and where that line intersects the y-axis. So part B gave me that slope of -1, so I'm going to say y equals -1x plus, and I have to solve for where that B term, that y-intercept of my line. So the y-axis is right here, so this B point intersects at 1, 2, 3, at 4 on the y-axis. So I'm at +4 for my y-intercept. Again, we're going to simplify this fraction, and in our final sentence, it will state the equation for the diagonal BD is y equals -x plus 4. You'll see that on the next slide. So part E, what's the relationship between the diagonals? So let me see if I can clear this screen real quick, because if I can, then we can look at the diagonals a little bit more. So again, that first diagonal that I drew was a blue line. So here is that first, here is that first blue line. And then my second one was a red line. So there's my second one. And what do I know about the diagonals of a square? If you remember correctly, and I don't know if you do, the diagonals of a square, and the reason why I'm saying that is because it was part of the 6th grade geometry lesson that you learned. They intersect at, and this only happens for squares, their diagonals intersect at 90 degrees. Therefore, we call these lines a special type of lines, even more than intersecting lines. We call these lines, and I'll give you the symbol, it's an upside down T. Hopefully you remember that means perpendicular. You could have used that argument saying that the two lines were in perpendicular lines, or you could have told me where those lines intersect. And if this was 0, 0 and this was 0, 4, hopefully you realize the intersection point right there of the two diagonals is 2, 2. We need to know in 8th grade more than their intersecting lines. I know that they're intersecting lines. They cross each other because of the slope values being different from each other. However, there needs to be more. So there's a deeper relationship being built. Again, you could tell me where those ordered pairs intersect, or you could tell me that those lines were perpendicular, or something along those lines. So the next slide is going to give you the final answers for everything in sentence form. So here are the final answers for your open response. A, what is the slope? The slope of the diagonal AC is 1. B, the slope of the diagonal BD is -1. C, the equation of the diagonal AC is y equals x. Remember, that's called a direct variation because it travels through the origin. D, the equation for diagonal BD is y equals -x plus 4. The plus 4 tells us that it intersects the y-axis at 4, and the negative slope tells us it's falling. In part E, what's the relationship between the diagonals? The diagonals of square ABCD intersect at 90 degrees, therefore they are perpendicular lines. Another sentence, you could have said the diagonals intersect at ordered pair 2, 2 as well. Those are the two relationships I was looking for. Hopefully, with a little time and some video tutorials, the grade on MCAS 7 Academy will be higher than your original grade.